very good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 150 Motorsport Sim Racing Renault 5 Sprint Challenge from a virtual Alton Park International Circuit. Very excited to have you back with us. If you were here on Monday for the Ginettas, hopefully less technical issues this evening. But you join us with just under 2 minutes left in our qualifying session this evening, and look at these beautiful flame-spitting Renault 5s thundering around the circuit this evening. Tonight we've got this 15-minute qualifying session that we're partway through, and two 15-minute races for you. Should be a brilliant evening of sim racing, and these wonderful, new to this Sim Racing League car, and new to me as well. I have never seen this mod before, but it looks like a lot of fun. As you can see Ryan on screen there, getting it nice and sideways through Druids to illustrate my point. Joining me this evening is my good friend Ewan Baygot to assist in commentary and to prevent me from losing all track of what's happening. Say hello, Ewan.
Hello. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I've been watching these cars now. I watched part of the practice and most of the qualifying now. Second or so. And my God, these cars are utterly insane. They are either sideways or sideways. There's nothing about them that is pointing in a straight line. It's insane. And the flame spitting out is just utterly cool.
And that's exactly what we want. And look at how slam they are as well. I've got a beautiful side shot here of Adam Ingram, and
yeah, they're just on the floor.
Yes, it's to the point the wheels are almost clipping through the wheel arches, but that is just a beautiful sight to see, and yeah, it should be incredible to watch. I mean, the noise is brilliant as well. The beautiful Renault 5 turbos sound incredible. Yeah, should be a great evening of racing. So that is it for qualifying. We got a couple of people finishing up their laps. The provisional pole is going to Butsy at the moment, with a good 3/10 margin over Ryan Turner.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's setting any fast sectors anyway, so I think this is what we're going to have on the grid anyway.
Yeah, it does seem to be. Roland's is on a lap, but with a big 7/10 margin, I mean, if you can pull that out on the final lap, that would be mighty impressive. But yeah, so yeah.
It's about there.
No, yeah.
Oh, it's just gone straight on.
Yeah. that's not going to happen then. So it looks like this is pretty much what our grid is going to be then. Plenty of cars in the mix. We've got 5 cars again, similar to the Ginettas, within a second. So that's always good. There's a few people using this as some last minute practice by the looks of it. But yeah, no one going to be setting a faster lap, so that brings qualifying to the end. So there we go, there's your results for you. Will Butsy on pole, 1:42.334 was their fastest lap, with Ryan Turner starting alongside. Following on from that, we have Rowlands, Hayes, Potter, Tutor, Bob, Tinker, Ingram and Zabaleta. That is your grid for this evening, those 10 cars. So now we sit in this little countdown before we go onto the grid for race 1 of this evening. So Ewan, having watched practice and qualifying, anything to look out for other than cars facing sideways, backwards and generally not in the normal straight line?
They were practicing some racecraft earlier by the looks of things, and it was more perpendicular to each other rather than a lot of racing. I could be wrong. This could be a very tame race, but I'm expecting something a little bit more chaotic, at least in the first few laps.
Exuberant.
Exuberance is the word I would use.
The word of the day is that exuberance.
Yeah.
So now we have the incredible job of managing AC things, because you and I are on the grid at the moment and we have to leave very quickly, but only after the race starts because we can't leave beforehand, which is a hilarious thing that I didn't find out. So apologies to everyone on Monday, but here we go. All the lights are on the gantry. We look forward, and that is your race start for you. Good getaway from everyone so far by the looks of it. Everyone trying to keep it clean through turn one. There's quite a lot of contact at the back of the field. 3, 4, 5 cars round, collecting a spinning car coming out of turn one. It's absolute carnage towards the back of the field, but at the front it seems nice and clear as Zavaleta goes for another spin after a turn one issue turns into a turn two issue, as it so often does. Gets it nicely back on the road. Up the front, it appears that our top 5 have kept it nice and clean so far. Here is our leader, Will Butsey, heading round Shell Oils for the first time. 2 cars very close in pursuit, with the third place man with the brightest headlights I've seen on a car pre-2015. That is mighty impressive for the age of the machine. Over the crest for the first time, coming down to the second chicane. Again, top 5 keeping it nice and clean, as there's a move there for P4, I think. That was Thomas Potter, I believe, going past Sam Hayes. There's a car on the grass. That's Bob in the background. That's the battle for last place currently. Manages to gather himself up. Neither of the two in the battle for last place have actually made the chicane there by the looks of it, but they've managed to carry on, which is what we like to see. Up front, Butsy's managed to increase their lead now out to about 0.8 of a second. That's taken some bravery, obviously, at the start. It's now up to a second already. Looks like Roland's having to defend quite heavily from Turner. Hayes now goes back past Thomas Potter as Potter makes a large mistake at Lodge Corner, going pretty much straight on with a big lockup. And that brings to the end lap 1 for us.
Yeah, that fighting between Roland and Turner won't help them as they lose touch with Butsy at the moment. Yeah, it was quite a chaotic first lap, as we sort of expected. Yeah, Butsy's sort of taking a bit of a lead now, and maybe Roland can start reeling him in over the next few minutes or so.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the strategy is there from second and third. You know, do they sit back, and it's I guess it all comes down to whether they have confidence in the pair of them, really. I mean, it's now a paired race. You've got to tandem up and realise whether the car in front's holding you up or not, whether the car behind's going to attack or not, and try and use that to gain an advantage. And it looks like Ronan's still sort of in touch. You know, 0.8 of a second in this car is not as big a margin as I thought it was going to be. Sam Hayes pretty solidified ahead of Thomas Potter now. Definitely by no means safe. The gap is only half a second, but definitely got that move done and stuck with it, and isn't fully out of touch with the leader. So at the moment, you know, it's still early stages, and I say we still have a 5-car race here. Rest of the field, you know, back and forth. Tinker and Below kind of dropped off about 10 seconds almost from our lead. Yeah, around about 10 seconds now. So they've dropped off a bit, but that front 5, I think particularly after the chaos we've seen in a lot of the Ginetta races, and with this being a new car, you've got to fancy yourselves as Zavaleta going for a little bit of an off-track excursion again. Fastest lap from Will Butsey, 1:42.608. As expected, it's only the second lap, and they are our race leader after all. But yeah, front 5, still got to have confidence in their ability to win this race.
I have to say, Renault must do a very good lawnmower.
It does appear to be.
Zavaleta is doing here.
Yeah, Valtteri Bottas would be proud.
Yes, he would be. Here we are, top 3 fight. Bit of a gap now stretching out between the trio, as maybe we try and sort of settle in now and see what happens in front of them.
I'm noticing
as we see
Bob is well off the road. That's a impressive route down Cascades. One I've attempted on many an occasion. I wouldn't recommend that though, Bob. Good recovery though. Yeah, the front 3, I noticed a lot of different lines through Shell Oils. Our leader had a big lock up. Second place sort of just missed the apex. Didn't lock up as such, but just went quite deep. And then third place taking what I say is the traditional line right down into the banking. And I'm noticing a lot of actually torque steer wheel spin type things, as unfortunately I think that's an engine failure, as they like to say for sim racing.
Yes.
A big old disconnection there for Tigger, unfortunately.
Hopefully we don't get a safety car intervention for that one.
that would be impressive. Thomas Potter has made a move for P4, overtaking Hayes again now. I'm not sure whether that's a mistake from Hayes, as he has dropped back a fair old way. So I don't know whether that was a mistake, a bit of contact between them we didn't see, unfortunately, but that was definitely, that's not a normal margin of time to lose. And yeah, 48.3, that is not a lap time you'd expect. We've had one disconnect and one join. How about that for grid retention? Just as the leaders kind of come through as well, which is or the midfield. But Butsy's still your leader. The gap is coming down. Roland has got that down to fluctuating around 3/4 of a second, and it was out to a second and more, I believe, in the past lap. So here they are. Here's the leaders. Big old rear lockups. We love to see that from a hot hatch, getting that rear wheel high in the air. Yeah, so the lead trio, very touring car-esque, and that is a hefty impact for our new race joiner. Yeah, it's a bit of carnage down at the back of the field at the moment. The front's stabilised. The front of the field, everyone's kind of sat in their position. The only thing I'd keep an eye on, though, Hayes has dropped well back off that leading group now, but Thomas Potter is slowly gaining on Ryan Turner for third place. Taking a time for him to find his groove this evening, but it looks like maybe it's starting to come back to him. I would say maybe a race setup on the car, but as they're all running the same setup, I believe, that's not really the case. As Dave Shooter's off the road, that's at Druids, that's could have been big, but good save. Has lost him a position, though, to Aiden Ingram. So Ingram goes through into 6th place. They're now kind of on the tail of Sam Hayes there, by the looks of it. So that's an interesting one to watch. Good little battle going on at the moment. He's now... Oh, no, that's Aiden Ingram and Bob there. Okay, so Dave lost 2 positions in that scuffle, but he's looking to get up the inside into turn 1. He's not got a full overlap. He's not really close enough. They've both gone wide. There's heavy contact on exit. That's going to spin Bob round. Dave's going to go past. And that all got a little bit messy into turn 1 there for those two. Speaking of messy, that was very close. Thomas Potter nearly wiping out Ryan Turner. He's got to be careful. That was dangerous going into shallow wheels. As it looks like, was that Aiden Ingram off in the background? No, it's Sam Hayes again. Hayes having another issue at the fast left-hander of Island Bend. So it's all kicking off all of a sudden. Every time I say it's stabilised, something bad inevitably happens.
It hasn't stabilised whatsoever. I did note that Roland got right up on the tail end of Butsy into shallows as well. He's closing back down once again with 3 attempts separate. And again, Thomas Potter right on the chuck of Turner as well. Oh, here we go. Yeah, right up against it. It's going to make a move up into Lodge maybe. Quite by the looks of things.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Oh no!
There it is.
By side.
Yep. We'll have to wait and see.
Stick.
Yeah.
Unless
it does appear to.
Old Hall. And he's kept it. Fair play.
I mean, the gap's still there, so I'm guessing it was a clean move by that. And here's our lead gap now, showing on screen. Will Butsy riding on board with currently, as we see again, Absolutovic having a little bit of an excursion again. But yeah, that lead gap is well and truly down. And honestly though, commending the top 2, only 2 really that have had a nice consistent race so far. You know, kept it on the road, nice, good, quick, consistent lap times. So they seem to be having pretty good race, to be honest. Although, as I say that, Roland drops back a bit. Ryan's gone past Thomas again. Thomas was well off the road there at the first chicane. Didn't see what happened, but the aftermath certainly appears like there was a bit of a moment, certainly for Thomas Potter. Whether it was caused by Ryan Turner, I don't know. Difficult to really tell with some of these AC mods where the damage may or may not be. But whatever's happened, Ryan Turner has cemented himself back into P3 with a healthy 3-second margin. Sam Hayes under all kinds of pressure here from Aiden Ingram. Aiden Ingram appearing to have a look up the inside. Didn't quite make it work. He's going to have to wait, maybe have an attempt at Druids. As we have a look back, Zabaleta just being lapped here. As they come up by the leaders, that was, coming across the line. So, lead margin still pinging around between a second and half a second. I think that's just the pace of these two. I think they are just that quick that the gaps just kind of is what it is, and it's going to be whether anyone makes a mistake in the closing 4 minutes or so.
I will note, however, that gap in front was 3/10 just coming into the last corner. I think Zabaleta may have gone in the way of Roland, which is why he lost about 3 or 4 attempts in that final sector.
Adam Ingram has had to come into the pits. Not quite sure what that was for. Possibly a miscalculation on fuel. It happens, but maybe not in a 15-minute race. Who knows? Yeah, a bit of an odd one there, but he's back out now. P8, 12 seconds off Bob. So I'm, not sure he'll make any positions, but hey, there is always race 2. That's the beauty of these super sprint events by 150 Motorsport. There is always 1-2. Back with our leaders. Again, nice and stable gap. Will Butsy doesn't really look threatened at all. There's a tendency to look in your mirror when you've got that less than a second margin. You're constantly checking. If he is, he's not showing it because, just hitting his marks, as the Americans say, keeping it going forward. And, perfect lines. I mean, right on the white line there, straight over to the apex curve, exit curve. Everything's just nice and casual, even with the bright flashing headlights on the front that blind me every time they come over a crest. This is the battle for 6th now. Dave Tudor right back on the tail of Bob there. They've dropped well off the back of Sam Hayes, haven't they?
I think Bob has just overtaken Tudor, if I recall the timing tower correctly. I didn't quite see it, but looks like Bob got past Tudor, who's had a so-so race, but he's not too bad considering he has met the barrier a few times.
Yes.
Throughout this race. Is he going to make a look on Bob? Not quite.
That margin is definitely looking small though. Yeah, it has been an up and down race for Dave, but there is a switch on the timing tab.
There's the move.
And I mean the margin's still very small, so whether it's a done deal or not, I'm not so sure. We'll have to wait and see as we see Ryan Turner taking
Shell Oils.
Yeah, it's marginal, but it's
gone off.
Oh no. Again, up and down. It seems to be the way in this this community for Dave, unfortunately. Up and down all the time. Sam Hayes is off the road again. Off the road again, and Thomas Potter takes a... No, that's a back marker. That's a back marker. Panic of the crisis averted. Oh, and again. He's just straight lined. The chicane, that's an interesting route.
That is one way to do that turn.
I mean, I'm not a particular fan of that chicane either, Sam, so I completely understand. Next time maybe we'll do the non-chicane variant. Yeah, but again, the leaders coming across the line, nose to tail, but with no change in the order. I don't know how many times we could say that. The gap has extended this time though. Bit of a slow lap from Roland. A 44.4 instead of a 44.1 for Butsy. Ryan Turner with Thomas Potter closing that margin now. I mean, they are now in the same camera shot occasionally, which they definitely weren't a few laps ago, if I recall. So that's obviously one to keep an eye on. Thomas Potter taking an interesting approach to track limits there. That was marginal. Ryan Turner's just going to let him through. that is also interesting. Ryan's just let Thomas through. No fight, literally pulled out the way on the back straight, going into Island Bend. Thomas goes through. Whether that was possibly because of an earlier incident, we saw Thomas off the road. Possibly Ryan felt guilty for that. Who knows? Have to ask Ryan about that later. But for now, that does promote Thomas Potter up into P3. But Ryan is clinging on to him, which makes me seem that, you know, he either wants to follow him or does feel guilty. 2 laps to go for our leader. The timing tower has hit 0. That is now the +1 lap rule. So we will have 1 more lap after this one. The gap is down to half a second again. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah.
I did notice. You know, quietly.
Well, that's why I thought I'd hand over to you, because that is your job to keep an eye on stuff. So I knew you'd notice because you're good at your job. But
but he just went a little bit wide going into Lodge. Is he going to give Roland any more? No, but Roland was quicker on that last lap.
That was a healthy margin as well. That was a good 0.4 of a second that Roland's was quicker there.
Yeah. But you have to say, unless Bugsy makes a big mistake, which can happen. We've seen plenty of drivers make mistakes in this race today, and well, that 6 tenths is quite a big margin. You probably want to be more like 1 or 2 tenths if you want to make any move stick.
And Aiden Ingram's gone for a bit of a moment at Druids. Dave Tutor back up to 7th. But yeah, I think that the only opportunity really here for Roland's would be a mistake at Druids for Butsy that leads to the opportunity going into Lodge. But honestly, with the way Butsy's drove all race, I don't see it coming. Thomas Potter has well and truly solidified that 3rd place. 9-second margin over Ryan now. Sam Hayes is actually catching up to Ryan Turner now. 2-second gap. Not sure if that will change before the end though. There's only about half a lap for those 2 left. We'll wait and see for our leaders to come across the line, as Bob has had a little bit of a moment. I'm trying to work out where that is. That's an odd place, but here is our leaders. That gap is small. I mean, it's lungeable. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can have a go if you want, Rolands. He's not going to be close enough though. Will Butsy, hefty chunk of curve, launches it out of Lodge Corner through Deer Leap, coming up to the timing line, and that is a win in the first Renault 5 Sprint Challenge race of this evening and ever. Goes to Will Butsy, followed by Rolands, and here comes Potter over the line to take a solid P3. What a race. What a brilliant race from our front 2.
That's pretty good. Well behaved. Yeah, neither of them put foot wrong really. Probably a bit of nip and tuck in the first couple of laps, but once Butsy was ahead.
Yeah, it was a controlled drive. I mean, we got excited at a few moments when that gap started to come down, but you know, I'm sure if we spoke to him, he'd probably say that was all under control. As Aiden Ingram appears to be reversing out of Druids. Now, I'm no expert.
Not sure how the clerk of the course would appreciate that.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, okay, I'm not a full... Oh no, that was just a reverse camera. He's just pulled to a stop. It looks like he was reversing, he was going so slow, but I can't tell the front from the rear of these Renault 5s because they are boxes, let's be honest. Beautiful, high-powered, amazing sounding, fire spitting, sideways moving, but they are boxes. And I don't think we'd have it any other way. I mean, nothing quite says 80s, 90s like boxes.
It is the shape of that era.
Yes.
Now it's all curves and aerodynamic pieces.
Yes. And I mean, where's the fun in that? Let's be honest. Where is the fun in that? I mean, you know, I think of great NASCAR eras. Look at the boxy birds. I mean, they were beautiful looking things. Like, why the next gen? No, I mean that is still a box. It's just a bad box. But you know, enough about complaining about NASCAR. There's plenty of people on YouTube who are better at complaining about NASCAR than I could ever be. as our last few backmarkers endeavour to finish their laps and in laps. We'll run you through the finishing order. So, beautiful, controlled, and calm win for Butsy. Second for Rowlands, third Potter, then Turner, Hayes, Tudor, Bob, Ingram, Zabaleta, Absolutovic, tinkering with that DNF, and LX joining us a bit late in this one, but doing a fair amount of laps. So well done to everyone for race 1 of the evening, and we've got another one to go. How excellent is that?
And I have it on good authority that it's going to be a race reverse grid. So if you thought that was intense.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, buddy. Oh, it's going to be excellent. So there you are. Those are your finishing positions with the margins as well. So a half a second gap at the line for Will Butsy, but I tell you what, it never really looked in doubt. From Dino Rowlands, Thomas Potter, a massive 11 seconds back. There was really no competing with our top 2 in that first race. Ryan Turner, another 10 seconds back of that, with Sam Hayes fairly close behind. Dave Tudor in 6th, Bob in 7th. Aidan Ingram with a fair few spins to their name in 8th, and then some more back of the field issues for Zabaleta and Absolutovic, and a few more besides. So yeah, race 1 done, and here we go onto race 2. I'm not even going to bother trying to catch my breath, like, frankly. There's no point.
Yeah, now we're going to fight with AC again.
We do. Yeah, very exciting. It's lovely. It's shown my car in 33rd place, apparently. My car has been parked halfway up Deer Leap. I don't fancy trying to hill start a Renault 5, actually, to be honest. Don't know what about you. But yeah, we have got the reverse grid, I can confirm. So that's great. But as our DNFer has not rejoined, we've got an empty pole grid slot, which may cause even more carnage. The lights go on. We wait for them to go out. Now, that was a long old hold for our drivers, but they're away now towards turn 1. Not a good start from the third place man, Absolutovic. And there's already big contact at turn 1. 3-4 cars, I think, off the road, spinning. Well gathered up, actually, by a couple of them. There's only one that's really lost out there majorly. They're 3 wide going down Cascades. That's never worked in the history of the world. Car sideways at the bottom of the hill. I think that was Aidan Ingram again. There's another car off in the background. No, the car off in the background's Aidan Ingram. I'm not sure who was sideways and recovered it. Shooter to the lead. Healthy start from them, and they've got a good margin so far. Thomas Potter up to 2nd, Ryan Turner 3rd, Bob in 4th, Butsy, our race 1 winner in 5th, and they are nose to tail. Will Butsy looking up the inside of Bob. No room there. He's going to have to tuck in. They are line astern through the chicane. Someone's gone straight on and wiped out Thomas Potter.
Oh dear, they're doing the best Dan Lloyd impression.
That was not healthy, and I'm glad that's just sim racing. Thomas Potter has recovered though, and is continuing on. Missed the chicane, but is continuing on. Good to see. Here we go. That promotes Aidan Ingram up to 9th. There's another car off the road. That's Absolutovic who's parked it. I think that was... I don't even know what happened there. I don't want to talk about it too much. There's a massive incident. Sam Hayes has wiped out Zabaleta. Zabaleta up onto 2 wheels. I don't know how he hasn't rolled. Sam Hayes has lost 3 positions from that. So going over the line to finish lap 1, we have Dave Tudor as our new race leader with a half-second margin over Ryan Turner, who in turn has half-second margin over our race 1 winner, Will Butsy. Rowlands is in 4th, about a second back. Bob 4 seconds back off of them. Thomas Potter only a second off Bob. So despite that massive wipeout, still there. Ryan Turner has closed in. Bit of a poor exit from Dave Tudor. Down the back straight, Ryan Turner to the inside, into Island Bend. It's going to be a brave move. Hits it over the inside curve, leaves plenty of room on the outside, gets the move done into Shell Oils. A little bit deep, but he's going to pull it up nicely in the second part. Late apexed it, and the move is done. Ryan Turner is your confident new race leader. Dave Tudor now under all kinds of pressure from race 1 winner Will Butsey. Honestly, possibly a little bit out of his depth, but he's doing all right so far. Another poor exit, possibly a missed shift there. Old gearboxes, you know what they're like, temperamental as always, even in sim racing. It's going to be a brave move from Will if he's going to go around the outside of the chicane. He's not. Sam Hayes is in the wall again, coming out of the international chicane. It's all kicking off.
It certainly is. I have noted that Thomas Potter does seem to have recovered after his expeditions.
He has.
As the gap in front does extend.
Butsey's made the move. Butsey has made the move on Shooter.
Is backwards in.
Oh dear. That is a shame. He was there. He was looking okay. Alas, not now. He's now demoted to 6th position. Unfortunately, though, with the excursions of Zabaleta and Ingram, he looks alright to be safe for that 6th position. So, you know, hopefully he'll keep it on the road. Fastest lap for Ryan Turner, 1:43.7. As to be expected, even though he had to make the move, it was quite clean and simple. But there we go, Thomas Potter, a 42.7. That's a more realistic fastest lap, as we might have expected, as everyone probably jumped out of his way, seeing him coming. There's another car off in the background at turn 1. Will Butsey closing the margin slightly. Lost time trying to overtake Tudor, but now, you know, demonstrating what he did in race 1. And wow, that was a massive four-wheel drift through Island Bend, and the most impressive thing I've seen all night, as we see ALX having a little bit of a I'd call that stunt driving moment at Druids.
He's driving, I like that. Oh, Turner's just gone off. He's gone wide into the chicane now. It's going to give Butsey the run down into the second chicane. He does have that run.
In all honesty, that move we probably all could have seen coming. The gap was just coming down. Yes, yeah. I mean, if anyone else wins this race, it will take probably a backmarker wipeout. I think is the only thing that could stop. Sam Hayes is off the road again. This time it looks like he's had some help, possibly from Zabaleta, joining him in that excursion. So we have another DNF there registered. Potter ahead of Bob. That gap is, I'd say.
Is it coming down? I think it is.
I think it's scary for if you're Thomas Potter. I wouldn't want someone that close behind when I'm trying to close the margin in front. Turner's not completely been ditched by Butsey, but having said that, look at that fastest lap from Will Butsey of 1:43.7. Roland's got close. 2 seconds. Roland's got close. Yeah, no, 2 seconds quicker than Turner. But, well, it was 1.5. But yeah, I mean, mega. But Ryan appears to be learning. I see his lines are now mimicking that of the car in front, which is always what you need to do if you get overtaken by someone that quick. But here we go. This is the view I want to see. Dino Williams, as we cut away from it, see ALX rejoining, which is nice. Dino Rowlands, sorry, is closing that margin now, and has definitely got sight of not just Turner in front, but obviously our leader as well. As the gap appears to be coming down at the front, is it? As that's a massive impact.
He must have made a mistake going into the chicane.
I mean, I'm shocked if he has. He hasn't made one all night, so that will be. Yeah, that was I think a massive incident between themselves and ALX at Cascades, possibly. But yeah, we shall see. So, I mean, honestly, that gap again stabilised pretty quickly, so could just be concertina effect. Is quite heavy in these cars, maybe. But here we go, Dino Rowlands, he's right there now. This is now a 3-car train for the lead. This is great to see. This is the racing we want. 43.9, 43.3. What a lap! What a lap, Dino Rowlands. A big sideways moment from Butsy as well, going through the first corner. So we'll have to see if that affects him going into Cascades. Doesn't appear to be, but Dino Rowlands has to fancy themselves in race 2 of the evening. Not quite there in race 1, but showing more than enough pace to be there in race 2. There's still half the race to go, don't forget. Plus 1 lap. So plenty of time as ALX demonstrates how to drive a front wheel drive car. That is tightened up. Butsy has made a mistake.
Right there.
That's forced Turner wide and Rowlands through on the inside, coming out of Shell Oils. What a save. He Scandinavian flicked it into the chicane and got a brilliant exit to boot, because Ryan Turner, if I was him, certainly would have had a massive stamp on the brakes, because I was expecting to see the passenger door of Rowlands presented to me rather quickly at the apex of that corner. But what a save, what a move, very opportunistic. Turner will feel a bit hard done by having to check up from the Butsy mistake, but this is a great battle for the lead. And, you know, Turner obviously doesn't quite have the pace of the 2 leaders. However, they're still fighting, and so he is well and truly still in the mix for this race win this evening. So we watch Aiden Ingram recover again, still running in P7 at the moment. All the gaps pretty stable, apart from this one. Here we go. Leader Will Butsy, and appearing instantly is our second place man, Dino Rowlands. Ryan Turner with full beams on, blinding every spectator that he passes by, and myself included. But that lead gap is tantalisingly close.
Tell you what, quietly, maybe Thomas Potter possibly is creeping up onto the back of this fight here, as you can see him in the background. You know, if this does come to a head with some side-by-side action, Thomas Potter may be picking up the pieces here. It's not over for him just yet after he had lap 1 excursions earlier on.
Absolutely. Also, Thomas will obviously be feeling a bit hard done by after that, so it will be it probably will be fireworks if he does manage to catch our lead pack. But for now, it's a bit stabilised, you know, ebbing and flowing as normal with that lead gap. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'd say, you know, if you're Rowlands, if you're Turner, you've got to be thinking, be a bit braver than you were in our first race of the evening. You know, you only live once and all that. Not condoning anything, you know, as extreme as what possibly some other antics we might have seen or not seen tonight, but definitely it is sim racing. Use that fact. Use the little fear factor. Brake a little bit later than you otherwise would. Maybe into a corner that you're struggling with, maybe, but you know, on the final lap, live and let live. Yeah, anything can happen.
Anything can, and it usually does, as the Craig Murray Walker would say.
Yes, and I think we are witnessing some Super Touring era, or even pre-Super Touring era antics this evening. So, you know, Will Hoyer and Rubes may be quoted at some point. But yeah, I mean, intense stuff. So here's our lead group again. Ryan Turner's dropped back, and that's put him right into the clutches of Thomas Potter. I can see he is defending ever so slightly. But yeah, no, good lead battle as we look back from the roof of Will Butsy's car to the front end of Rowlands. It's pretty much the same story as race 1 for the minute. Just every time it looks like Butsy's struggling, just manages to pull that extra little bit of pace just to maintain the margin. But they are coming up on the back marker now, so that is going to play on people's mind, as much as the most professional racing drivers will say it doesn't. A car in the gravel in front of you will make you think. They just about clear him safely.
Out the way.
Yeah. Well done to ALX there, rejoining as safely as possible, and not affecting that lead battle too much. So that should be the last kind of traffic we see, as Ryan Turner goes quite deep into Druids there. That's probably not helping the margin. Now trying to get past the back marker, which he does successfully. Good to see Dave Tutor still hammering round in 6th position. Not too far off of Bob in front, only about 2.5 seconds. Margins there. Slower laps from our lead group, all in the 44s there, except Thomas Potter, 43.6, taking half a second margin out of our leaders. You may be right, this may still be on for them. Podium, certainly. Gonna have to really push now, though. We are running out of time. Yeah, we are running out of time in this, 2 minutes and a lap, so...
It's about 3 laps to go.
Yeah, somewhere around that margin, and our leaders aren't showing any signs of making mistakes, so if the difference is going to be made, it's going to be made by the cars behind rather than the cars in front.
Indeed. To see Roland again, he's just he's always in that sort of half a second to a second window, and then Buxy just somehow finds an extra gear, just to pull that gap back out again. It's like he's toying with Rollins here.
Yeah, I mean, this is where frustration kicks in for your second place driver. I personally would be screaming at myself mainly right now in this situation. When you're that close, you feel like you should be able to get there, and when you've got up to that position as Rollins has in this race, climb the pack, you feel like, why can't I get that last little bit? But he thought about defending though into Druids that time, so the margin is clearly close enough for them to have a look. Dave Tutor's having a look round the outside of Bob into Old Hall, which becomes Druids, I believe. Yeah, so that is a move done on a back marker there. Bob's had a spin at Druids. That's going to let Dave through. He's had a spin. So, oh, and massive collection by our back marker. So that lets Bob back through. So no change in positions. Just a load of debris on the back straight. So thank you all for that excursion. Thomas Potter now well and truly on the back of Ryan Turner, but Ryan Turner seems to be taking lessons from 2021 Sergio Perez and the Mexican Ministry of Defense, because I mean there seems to be no route through, despite Thomas Potter catching at what seemed like a half a second a lap at one point, I believe it was. I'll throw to you my numbers, man.
It certainly was. He's trying to look into Shell Oils here. He's going to chuck his nose down the inside. Not quite. But yeah, it was about half a second or so every lap, as the clock does start running down to 0. Yeah,
so 2 laps to go, including this one. Bob's had another excursion, which means Dave is now right behind him, and he's gone off at Island Bend in his haste to keep the position. Bob has fired himself off at about 100 miles an hour. That's hefty, and that lets both Dave and Aiden Ingram through, so massive change. And Ryan Turner appeared to have lost the position to Thomas Potter by the looks of it. However, Thomas Potter makes a mistake, Turner is back through, so it's not over yet, but safe to say that our lead 2 are in a class of their own. Vying any major contact, they are not losing first and second. It just remains to be seen which one will cross that finishing line first. As we see Aiden Ingram now ahead of Dave Tutor, so up to 5th. Bob has pitted, which promotes Sam Hayes up to 7th. They're not going to threaten our top 4. The margin is 23 seconds to Aiden Ingram. But there you go. 2 individual pairings as we head on to the final lap of this race. Battle is Butsy versus Rollins for first, Turner versus Potter for the final place on our podium in our final race of this evening. Turner goes wide. Is that a look up the inside from Potter? No, he's not close enough. Our lead pair, once again, the margin is just close enough to be tantalising, just far enough to keep Butsy on his racing line, not force him to defend just yet. Heading through Shell Oils now, I believe, as we watch ALX still stunt driving their way round. Good to see them committed to the full race distance, though.
Well, you got to be there, you know, even if you're that far off the pace, you know.
Top 10's top 10. Top 10's top 10. Like, no one's taking that away from you. On board with Will Butsy. Mirrors filled with Rollins. But again, he's not defending. And until he's run wide. And Will Butsy's run wide. Our leader of the race has got a very poor exit coming out of the chicane. The margin is only a 10th going into Druids.
Is he going to take it down the inside? Not quite. Is he going to get a good run up to Lodge corner?
There is one corner to go. Will Butsy is going for the middle of the track. He doesn't seem to be threatened. The 0.4 of the second margin isn't worrying him, and he's got a good exit out of Lodge. He made it difficult for himself on that final lap, but for the second time this evening, Will Butsy is your winner with Dina Rowlands very close behind. Nearly said Oliver Rowland there.
I was going to say you almost said Oliver there.
I watch too much Formula E, what can I say? Thomas Potter takes the final podium spot on the final lap from Ryan Turner. Dave Tudor up to 5th, a mistake from Aidan Ingram drops him 2 positions. Sam Hayes up to 6th. They're making it through the final corner, now wide from Dave Tudor, but he's got a bit of a margin, and he's going to take a well-deserved 5th place. Well done to them. Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Hayes up to 6th. Ingram 7th, was that on the line, I believe. Just waiting for a few cars to finish. Whoa. Hell of a moment there from ALX, but he's coming towards the line now. 1 corner to go for them. What a race that was. That was I'd say better than race 1. I think that was incredible.
It was certainly something. Obviously the reverse grid put in.
I was going to say, racing gods bless reverse grid races. That was brilliant, frankly. And
yeah. Despite all of that, we still get the fastest drivers in front with the action to come with it.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, I rather enjoyed that one. Obviously, a little bit further back, some of the antics were questionable, to say the least. But you know, we're all here to have fun at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I think all we can do is focus on the fantastic driving and racing that we saw from our leaders, and yeah, they're an absolute credit. That was a brilliant race to watch. Yeah, so congratulations once again to all our podium finishers. Thank you to all our racers for providing some excellent entertainment this evening. What a race! What are 2 races?
2 races, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for everyone who joined. We hope that you will join for more 150 Motorsport sim racing events in the future. And yeah, please check out their socials. Some great content from them. Thank you for joining on obviously my channel, but that's not what this evening is about. It's about 150 Motorsport putting on this event for us. We thank them. Obviously it takes effort and money to get servers, to get the time to do stuff like this, organize it, find the mods, all of that, so we thank them. And yeah, well, we hope you will join us all in the future. Thank you, Ewan, for your expert keeping track of carnage this evening.
I did my best. I did my best.
You did an excellent job. You did an excellent job.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, do this again sometime.
And we will. So thank you all very much for joining us this evening. Wow. Until another.